to the October Lit Gals. I am so glad to be here with my favorite reading friends for our October episode. And we were just talking about, we got a great topic today. I'm not going to steal Morgan's thunder. She'll kick it off in a bit. But I am Martie Hoofer. I am the digital content manager for Keep Indiana Learning. And just as always, excited to be here. So Morgan, would you introduce yourself?
Of course. Hello, everyone. My name is Morgan Mason, and I am one of the professional learning specialists here at Keep Indiana Learning, and I am focused on all things literacy. Anna?
My name is Anna Cook, and I'm a professional literacy specialist, just all around Indiana and then neighboring states. So happy to be here every month. It's just a highlight.
Oh, yes, it is. Mm-hmm. And we have some really fun topics today. So before we get into our topic for the day, you know, we always like to start with some fun banter, some fun questions, usually maybe a controversial question. So my question for you ladies today is, when it comes to signed books, how do you feel? What is your opinion on signed books? Do you have a lot of signed books? Martie, what do you think? I feel like I know what you're going to say, kind of.
Okay, I'll start with the easy question. Yes, I have some. It's probably a dozen, maybe, sitting on a top shelf on my bookshelf. And these are books that are signed by some of my favorite young adult authors. And these are the ones that sat behind my desk as a teacher that I did not loan out to kids. I had these books on the shelf for kids, but they weren't getting my signed copies. So I do enjoy signed copies, especially if I'm able to say thank you to the author when it is signed. You know, not just like buying it off the shelf. That's a little different. I really couldn't care less.
I was going to ask that. Yeah, like how do you get the book? So it's usually from meeting the author.
Yes, if I get to listen to the author talk and then say thank you, so I do enjoy signed books if that's the way I'm getting it.
Okay.
So there you go.
Anna, what about you?
Same here. It was kind of a goal of mine, if you will, whenever I attended or spoke at a conference. I always sought out the authors of some of the well-known authors of some of the books, and I've got some. So humor me. Okay. Mem Fox. So I was able to get one of hers. Stephen Kellogg. I was able to meet him. And then also Judy Sierra. So I really did take pride in collecting signed books, and it was really interesting. I did the same thing that you did, Martie, kind of kept them, close by me or on Alexandra's bookshelf, if you will. And it was really interesting. I've got grandsons now, and I started to bring out some of these signed books. And Alexandra was the one that said, "Oh, hold it. Don't let these boys take these signed books." Yeah. And it was really, I was very surprised that she said that. And I said, "No, let's share. Let's see what they think about them." And she was like, "Mom, they're signed books." So she really does appreciate a good signed book. And then, of course, I still appreciate a good signed book. So got this just this past summer. But you're absolutely right, Martie. Although it was signed, I didn't get to meet her. And so there was a little bit of a different vibe, if you will.
Knowing that you were in the city where she lives.
Yes, that's right.
I feel like that kind of has some weight to it.
Thank you. Yeah, I thought so too, Morgan.
Okay. So first of all, as a fellow boy mom, I get why your daughter was like, "Don't let the boys touch those signed books." They destroy everything they touch. But okay, so I'm the oddball out here because I do not have a lot of signed copies of any book, like personal books that I read in my classroom. That was just not, I don't know. That's not something that I have valued or I think I agree with you though, that if I were to get the chance to meet an author, then yeah, absolutely, I'd love to come home with a signed copy. But that's just not something that I've done a lot of or had a chance to do. So I may add that to my bucket list of like, okay, if I had the chance to meet some of my favorite authors, who would they be? And then how am I going to get a signed copy of some of these books? Because I don't know that I have any right now, let alone any that I would like display or have somewhere separate from where you guys like keep your books. So,
well, I do want to ask, Martie, where did you get your signed books? How did you get them?
Yeah, probably a couple different places. I live in Indianapolis, and the Marion County Public Library periodically brings in authors, and so they will often sign typically after they talk. So I know a couple have come from there. I don't remember others, but those are the couple I can readily think of. It's been at the downtown Marion County Library.
Yeah.
So one of my favorite authors was actually at the Carmel Public Library recently, because she just released a new book, which I'm actually currently reading. We'll talk about that later. But I wanted to go, and I happened to have a conflict that night, but I was kicking myself because I was like, man, that would have been so fun to hear her speak. And then I probably would have walked away with a signed copy. So I need to keep an eye on those things and look for more opportunities.
And actually, funny enough, Morgan, the author of the book I'm currently reading right now, I heard speak at the Carmel Library.
Okay.
So we'll talk about that in a little bit. I did not get a signed book from her, so but that's okay.
But Carmel Library, they're bringing in some good people.
There we go.
All right. Well, are we ready to jump into our topic?
Go for it.
All right. So our topic today is book clubs. So we've all mentioned, I think, on previous shows that we're all involved in book clubs in different capacities. So we thought that this would be a great show topic. And as usual, we've all kind of taken a different approach to our thoughts on book club, kind of what we're going to share today. So Anna, you want to kick us off? Tell us about your books, your book club, all the things.
Yeah, I'd love to. So when I started thinking about book club, I really went to the book clubs that I've been a part of. And I started thinking about, I first became in a book club, got into a book club when I was in my 40s. So anytime I think younger than that, there's no way that I could do that because I was raising a family and working and home life, etc. And I just don't think that I would be able to participate as well as I probably should. So I started, my first book club was when I was in my 40s, and it was similar women in that age range. And the books that we picked were, they were just for pure enjoyment, and I wouldn't say lower level, but they were definitely just easier reads, if you will. And so that was when I was in my 40s, and it was a wonderful book club. And then we kind of dispersed for one reason or another. And I went back to another different book club, and it was more of a spiritual book club. We read a lot of spiritual books of different types of denominations, etc. And I was really struck. I thought that I was going to love this book club, and I love the people in it, but I didn't necessarily enjoy the different topics or the different types of books. But I did still go and be with those people because I love the people. I love them so much. And I always got something out of it, but I never did really feel totally compelled to read, which I realize that kind of defeats the purpose of a book club.
Not necessarily, though.
I love the people. I love the people. And even to this day, they'll still say, Anna, book club is, on this day if you'd like to come. And there's a lot of times that I still do.
Yeah.
Because they're just such lovely, lovely people that I want to be a part of it. So as you guys might have remembered, I joined what I'd love to call a highbrow book club. And I joined them about 6 months ago.
Okay.
And I have to tell you guys, they are a total blessing in my life. I feel like it is an absolutely perfect fit. They are a group of women who were all former teachers and some current teachers, and then even some literacy consultants. And they have picked out the most diverse books, if you will, but every single book I feel compelled to read. And with every single book, I learn something.
Oh,
and I love that at this stage in my life.
Yeah.
I want to be a continuous learner. And where the first book club when I was in my 40s, that wouldn't have fulfilled that need. Or the second one wouldn't have fulfilled that need as much as this book club does. And so you better believe it is on my calendar. I get the book the minute we find, we're told what book it is, and I start reading it. And we have such lovely, enriching conversation about it. And I really love that as well. Mm-hmm. So I kind of went off topic a little bit. Yes, it's book club, but I wanted to talk about adult book clubs and how very, very important they are in most stages of our lives, right?
Yeah.
Perhaps not 30s, Morgan. So,
She's just ahead of the curve. She's just ahead.
Yeah. So that's where I'm coming from. When you talked about book clubs, I thought about that. Yeah.
I love that each book club that you've been a part of has served a different purpose for you. That's my biggest takeaway from what you've shared. Is like you said, started out just fun, easy books, engaging with other women, and now you're challenging yourself. You're reading, learning. I think that's really cool.
And if you think about it, I then bring these books to you at the Lit Gals every single month. I talk about these books. And so you're learning as well some things.
Yeah, adding them to our to be read lists.
Yeah. So it's been really it's been good.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Martie, what about you? What was your take on book clubs?
So my take on book club was twofold. Yes, I'm in actually 2 book clubs now for adults. So I'll talk about those in a second.
You're in 2 adult book clubs?
I don't know if I knew you're in 2.
I didn't know that either.
Yeah, one is an online only book club, and then one meets at my house. So, one's like a nationwide, maybe worldwide audience, and then
cool.
Yeah, 10 people that hang out at my house.
Yeah.
So we'll talk about that book, those in a second though. But my first thought when we talked about book clubs was I did them in my middle school classroom. And and I will say it was not easy. There were, obviously, if I'm saying it's not easy, there were challenges, but it wasn't a flawless process. It wasn't the smoothest thing I did, but I felt like there were benefits to the kids, so I kept doing it. And this is probably the one thing I did maybe every single year I taught. Now, I did not do it with every unit. I did it, the 2 units I'm going to talk about today, I did it in my historical fiction unit, and I did it in my memoir unit. And because I felt like those were the 2 genres that kids needed the most support. And they were facing historical fiction. There was a lot of history that they didn't know, so they needed each other to fill in some gaps, and it made doing the research to learn about the time period a little easier because we could divide it up. And then memoirs, I was just taking them so far outside of their comfort zone that it provided a good support. So I just brought a couple books I used. In my historical fiction unit, we did The Lions of Little Rock. This one was wildly popular. It's about people who were going to school. I don't know that it specifically says Arkansas, but you get the idea. This is like Little Rock 9-ish. Oh, it does say The Lions of Little Rock. It is Little Rock. It says it right there. So it's Lions of, or it's much like the 9 kids who integrated the high school in Little Rock.
Yeah.
It's at a middle school level.
Okay.
And then I always used Alan Gratz. This is Refugee, but we used a number of his books in our historical fiction unit because they're just so good. They're super well researched. The kids love them. There's typically a boy main character, if not 2 or 3, which is also good. So Alan Gratz always made an appearance in our historical fiction unit. But then in my memoir unit, this is where I was really pushing them. And so we would bring diverse characters. I taught in a very diverse school. So let me say that. This is Proud, Living My American Dream. It is about she is an Olympic medalist. Her name is Agatha Muhammad, and she is a fencer. And so I loved bringing a unique sport to them.
I say the sport too.
Yeah. She fenced in her hijab, which I love. And so I highly recommend this book. There may be an adult version of this. I'm not really sure. But then I like this book because it's so pretty. Misty Copeland, this one's called Life in Motion. She was the first African-American premier ballerina at the National Ballet that I can't think of the name of. She was the first female African-American principal dancer at the American Ballet Theater. That's who I want putting in front of my African-American girls.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Feelings and doing it beautifully. So what I found, though, it's the same. What I found with my 7th graders is the same thing I find with my adult book clubs. Even if I don't read the book, I'm learning from the discussion. Exactly what you said, Anna. So do I know I had kids that didn't read these books? 1,000%.
Yeah.
But they would join the book club, the little circle in the corner, and they would talk because somebody's read the book.
Right.
And they're learning from those conversations.
Listening, yeah.
So Martie, I want to talk about that for just a moment.
Yeah.
You know, since COVID, we have had students that do not communicate very well at all.
Yep.
From the 1st grade all the way up through high school. They just are not good communicators. And COVID really did exacerbate that, if you will. And it was, it's hard because if you are not good with communication, then you have a hard time typically reading, and you have a hard time writing.
Yep.
And communication is the very foundation of all the other.
Right.
And so I commend you for talking about that, and then also making sure that they're in those small groups, and they were, even if they didn't read it, they were communicating either through listening or responding, but they were doing something.
Yeah.
Another thing that I also want to bring up is middle school, they're very impressionable. And I know for a fact that if you talk to them about book clubs, I know they've heard about book clubs either from their mom or an aunt, dad, whoever, and another adult, right? And so when they hear, oh, we're going to start a book club, I know that you had buy-in, because our kids want to mimic, if you will, what they see.
Yeah.
And your modeling of being in a book club, kudos to you as well, because I know you talked about, hey, in my book club, we do blah, 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 right?
Yeah.
and they want to mimic what you do as well.
For sure.
The cutest thing happened at my last in-person book club in my backyard, not my big virtual one. One of the ladies in our book club had to bring her kids, and one is 4 and her son is maybe 2nd grade. And when they got in the car to leave, her son said, "When do I get to go to a book club?"
Oh,
and we were like, perfect.
There you go.
Because he heard us having fun.
Yeah.
We looked like we were enjoying ourselves because we were.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it was great. I'm not going to talk about my adult books. I'll put them in the show notes. But what I'll say about Adult Book Club is that I'm in it, especially this virtual one, because it makes me read books I would never read. Look how fast this one is. I mean, my gosh. And I promise you, I'm never picking up a book by a Supreme Court justice that has the Constitution in the back of it. And I loved it. I learned so much. I would never pick that up. So that's why I'm in this other book club, is it makes me read books I would never read.
Yeah.
Me too.
Oh, me too. That's cool.
Yeah.
So Morgan, tell us about when you think of book club.
Yeah. Okay. So I also kind of have twofold here. So the first thing, I was thinking about myself as a 1st grade teacher, as a classroom teacher, and I didn't do book clubs for a variety of reasons, as you can imagine. That would, if you thought it was hard for middle schoolers, grade would have been really hard. So while I didn't do book clubs as a classroom teacher, I was thinking about myself currently as a mom, and I just enrolled my students, my kiddos, in Dolly Parton's Imagination Library. I don't know if you guys are familiar with it.
Oh, I am. I love that.
It's amazing. So Indiana, or at least Marion and Hamilton County, I know, recently were able to get involved in this program. So Dolly gives you a book. You sign your kid up for free, and she sends a book to your child every month until they turn 5. And they can start as soon as they're born.
Morgan, I never thought about that as a book club, but you're right. It's a book club.
For kids, I mean, yes, they're not getting together to talk about their books, but they're all like, look, I brought my kiddos books. They each got one in the mail. It has their name on the back. And they were so excited. And it's a book. Now, The Little Engine That Could, we're familiar with this text, but I'm assuming that they're going to be exposed to texts that they otherwise would not be, that I'm unfamiliar with. And it was just, I was like, oh, this is kind of like my kiddos are in a book club.
And Morgan, it's theirs.
Yes,
it's theirs to keep.
Yes. I mean, it has, like, it's addressed to them. It says my kiddo's name, our address. Like, I'm like, this is their book. And they know they can't quite read yet, but Wells knows how to spell his name, and he knows that Baker's name starts with a B. And so you bet that they better have the right book in their hand. So that was kind of my first take on, like, oh, this is kind of planting the seed of book clubs for kiddos. Like, hey, we're all collectively reading this book together at the same time. So that was really fun. And so I'm excited for each month for them to get a new book. Plug for Dolly Parton's Imagination Library. If you are in, I know at least Hamilton and Marion counties, sign your kiddos up because it's such a cool program.
Oh yeah.
And then I, similar to Anna, about 4 months ago, I want to say, I joined a book club as well. Now, Anna, I know you said in your 30s, raising kids and working.
Morgan, hats off to you. Woo.
Okay, so here's my thing. It's an outlet for me. I mean, am I late? Yeah. Every time? Yes, because I have to wait for my husband to get home from work. I got to hand over the kid duties. But it has been such a bucket filler for me. And just, I mean, like you said, Martie, I'm reading books that I never would have read otherwise. Yeah. I'm also connecting with people that I normally don't get to on a regular basis. And it just has been such a good outlet for me as a mom in the trenches right now. So
kudos to you, Morgan. Yeah. Kudos to you for that. Good job.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Question for you guys, and we do not have time to dig into this, but I gotta at least float the question. All of us are in very different book clubs, yes. And with wide variety of people. Do you find your book clubs do you find different perspectives in your book club? Let me just.
Absolutely.
Oh, yes.
Yes.
Mhm.
I so look forward to the conversation every month when we get together, because I'm like, ooh, I bet that he's going to have a really unique perspective. Or I bet, which I do have, there's one male in my book club with all
Good.
these women, and he always brings such a different, unique perspective than like what I would have. So yes, absolutely.
Oh, I love that.
Oh, I love it. So that's one of the things I love about book club that none of us talked about, but it's the different perspectives. And it's that, it's like vegetable soup. We all bring something a little different, and it becomes something magical. And I can talk about book clubs all day.
I know. So fun.
Yeah. All right. Well, we are rapidly running out of time, which I don't know how this happens. So let's wrap up the way we do every month with what are you reading or listening to now? Anna, I'm going to start with you. What are you reading or listening to?
Okay. First of all, book club book. Oh. It is called The Firekeeper's Daughter.
Okay.
It's a young adult book, Martie.
I had that book in my classroom. I have never read it.
It's really, really good. It is about the Ojibwe tribe that is up in the Upper Peninsula, northern Michigan. And as a matter of fact, the lady Angeline Boulley, who wrote this, is part of that tribe, and she is one of their storytellers.
Oh, that's so cool.
So, this was a very, very good book in that it does tell you or talk to about the reservations that still exist and the problems that are going on in some of these reservations. They're very, very real. And she points some of these out through this book, through this young adult book. I really appreciated the way that she was able to weave that in. It's very good. And you are not going to believe this. They are making a movie out of this book. Yes. President Barack Obama and Michelle Obama, in their Higher Ground production company, they are going to make this book into a movie, and it will be on Netflix.
Okay, cool.
Nice. Mm-hmm. So Anna, did you say that's from your book club?
Yes.
So I love it that your highbrow book club is reading young adult novels.
Yeah. Oh, yes.
It shows young adult novels are so rich and so good. It should not be poo-pooed.
No, and they don't. They don't.
Oh, that's really cool.
Now, one more book. Yeah. I had the grandsons this past week. Oh. And this book is called Shake Dem Halloween Bones.
I love it already.
Oh, my goodness. Okay, so it kind of goes. It's a wonderful book. I said, shake, shake, shake dem bones now. Shake, shake, shake dem bones now. Shake, shake, shake dem bones at the hip hop Halloween ball.
I'm ordering it right now.
They sang it the entire time they were with Oma. Is that not a scream? So yeah. So goodness knows,
cover too.
We read this a lot in the last 4 days.
It's just replaying in your head over and over.
Yeah.
All right, Morgan, what you reading, what you listen to?
Okay, so I'm always got one that I'm listening to, one that I'm reading. I'm actually breaking my own rules right now, and I think I'm overwhelming myself a bit because I have a physical book that I'm reading. I have a book on my Kindle that I'm reading, and then I have a book on my coffee table that I'm reading, and I'm listening to a book. So I have 4 books going right now, and I realized I was like, I need to chill. So I'll just talk about a few of them. One of them is The Briar Club by Kate Quinn, and this was actually, I brought this one, and I've been reading it kind of slowly, just kind of picking it up here and there. But it's a great story, historical fiction. I've read some other Kate Quinn before, but it was a book club pick before I joined the book club. And it was one of the girls in the book club brought me a stack of books that they had read previously before I joined, that she was like, these were good ones. You should just work your way through them, kind of thing. So that's one of them. And then I have to give a plug for my girl, Hoda Kotb. I love her. And she just released Jump and Find Joy. So that's the one that's on my coffee table.
Oh.
And I just pick that up if the boys are playing and I'm just sitting on the couch. If I have a couple minutes in the morning before they wake up, rare. But I've just been reading that here and there. It's a really easy read, but she's so joyful. And I love her so much. So I'm reading that one. And then the other one that I'm reading on my Kindle, which I don't have it with me, but Karen Slaughter. She's the author that I mentioned earlier that was in Carmel recently. I love her. She's a thriller writer, and her last name being Slaughter is so appropriate because her books are pretty graphic and pretty dark at times. So I don't know if I'd recommend some of them to you all, but I really enjoy it. So she just released a new one called We Are All Guilty Here, and so I have been diving into that one as well. Oh yeah, I'm kind of all over the place. And then I have another one I'm listening to, so I need to reel it in, but
wow. Okay. That makes me think of one semester in college. I took 4 literature classes at the same time. That was a level of insanity I did not know existed. The only way I survived that was 4 classes were wildly different, like time periods and text, and that was the only way I kept them straight.
Yeah, they got to be different.
They got to be different. That's the key. So I'm only reading one book right now.
Martie.
I'm slacking. I'm only reading one book. Holy cow, Morgan has 2 toddlers, is pregnant, is reading 4 books at the same time.
Just add to the chaos.
Morgan. Okay, my one book. I am reading Allie Carter's newest book. It is called The Blonde Who Came In From the Cold. Allie Carter is a name we know from the young adult world. She wrote The Gallagher Girls and is a huge series in the YA world. But then she has started branching out and is writing adult rom-com thriller kind of text. I don't know how to describe it. Rom-com thriller is the best I got. They're fun. Yeah, they're fun. They're easy. My life is a little heavy right now, so I loaded my Kindle with some really fun and easy stuff.
Good for you.
Allie Carter is my go-to, fun and easy. So Morgan, yeah, I saw her at the Carmel Library after her first book came out, the adult rom-com thing. So you might like her because you enjoy thrillers. So she's a little funny thrown in. So there you go.
Cool.
Yeah. All right. Well, we are overtime, but that is okay. So what a fantastic episode of the Lit Gals. Thank you for joining us today. We will be back next month where we are talking about narrative nonfiction, a genre I had never heard of until I started teaching, and then I grew to love it. So narrative nonfiction next month. We will see you then. And as always, we will end with be well.
Do good work.
Keep in touch.